Hi everyone. So in this video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the supplemental source approval board and finding sources for your counter argument. So if you click on the supplemental source approval, one of the things that it asks you to do, oh, actually, I'm going to go to it, to the actual description through the content folder. It asks you to find a source that includes a counter argument. So one of the things that we did last time, and hopefully if you watched the video that was in the announcement, if you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. One of the things that we talked a little bit about in that video was coming up with counter arguments. Again, remember that anytime it says the instructor provided article, it's talking about this article up here, Ungrading by Susan Bloom. That's the critical evaluation article that we're talking about. So when you look here, excuse me, what you're trying to do is find a credible source that is in opposition to the article that we're reading, because that's part of the research process. An important part of the research process is looking into the different sides of an argument and seeing what the other side thinks so that you can address it in your argument. That's not something that's going to come into play until you're in a class like 102 where you're writing your own argument papers, but it is an important part of the research process to be able to find credible articles that disagree with your point of view. So we're going to practice it by looking for a counter argument that presents an opposing view to Susan Blum in her article Ungrading. So one of the things that we talked about last time in the article is that the counter argument that or the claim that she's putting forward is her take on the topic. The topic that we have for Susan Blum, if we click on the article, is about grades in higher education. And if you read the article, you should have a pretty clear idea of how she feels. In fact, it's right here in the tagline. She says that Susan Blum argues that one change that can be made to the lack of learning is to get rid of grades. So obviously Susan Blum is in favor of getting rid of grades. So what we're looking for in a counter argument is somebody who is defending the use of grades. We're looking for somebody who has the opposing opinion. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to Google a couple articles, and you can, if you're taking notes, you can see. Here we go. If you're taking notes, you can kind of see. I'm going to look through the internet. I'm going to look in a couple academic databases. And if you like what you see, if you see an article that jumps out to you as you're watching this video, you can jot it down and evaluate it. And if it's good, you can use that. So I'm just going to look for an article that talks about, specifically the good things about grades in higher education. So grades in higher education. I can start with a term like this. And so you're going to see, here we go. This is something that might work. So again, like I haven't done the work of assessing this source, but this looks like it could be a pretty good source to look into because it seems that this person is saying just not grading is not a good solution. That seems like it would include the counter argument. Let's see. So that's a possible counter argument source. We'll type in grades in higher education good. Something like this article, 3 reasons grades are bad for education, that's not going to be a source that we want to use because it's going to be supporting our original argument. We're looking for things that are a counter argument, that run counter to what Bloom is saying. Susan Bloom says we should get rid of grades. We're looking for people who say, no, we shouldn't. So something like a pros and cons list, you can probably find some cons that would be helpful. So this is a possibility. I'm not loving how this looks. I'm wondering what this is about. What is this? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would trust this source or not. You guys, if you wanted to use this, you all, if you wanted to use it, it would be up to you to investigate and see if you thought that it was, you know, a source that you trusted. You'd want to do a little bit of digging, looking into it. Let's see what else we can find. So you can see that the popular opinion seems, at least among most academic circles as it's coming up, seems to be in accordance with Bloom. Can look at this. Okay, yeah, so like this one looks like it might be helpful. Again, I haven't gotten into whether or not we should trust IED, iEdunote. Ooh, I'm feeling weird about it. It looks like it wants to sell me some stuff. I don't know about this. I'm gonna say maybe not. And this is exactly what you want to be doing. This one I looked at in my other class, and it looks like it could certainly be worthwhile. So this is one you might want to check out. This is a potential. So this is what you're going to do as you look online. You're going to search around and try and find an article that presents a counter argument that grades are a good thing. If you want to look through the databases, that's an option too. Although I will say I had some trouble in the databases earlier when I did this. I'm going to start with EBSCOhost, and you know what? You could also check out SIRS. SIRS would be probably a good one to look into. I'm going to choose EBSCOhost, and I'm going to narrow my search down to just be I'm going to do academic search complete because I always do, but then the other ones that I'm going to choose are going to be the educational sources. So education research complete and ERIC, those are the databases that I'm going to choose. Okay, and then I'm going to type in we'll try grades and student motivation because that seems like a positive thing if there's a correlation between them. And you can see, as always, there's going to be some sifting to do. I'm going to go ahead and choose something that's not from 1906. We're just going to go ahead and eliminate things from 1906. And I only want things that I can actually read, so I'm going to choose full text. And I'm trying to be fancy, so I'm going to choose scholarly peer reviewed. Okay. And you can see that this is not, I can't even remember what I typed in earlier to get some worthwhile hits. This is definitely tricky. I might have found some in SIRS. You can see that this one looks like it agrees with the article, so that would be a good support article, but we're not looking for a support article. We're looking for a counter argument. Yeah, so I think I actually had more luck in SIRS, but you can see that this is the process that you want to go through. Looking for any counter argument that's a defense of the grading system, which can be hard. I think I had more luck in SIRS. So if you want a database article, I would recommend going to SIRS, or you can keep changing your keywords like I was doing. Essentially, or you can pick one of the ones that I found online. Essentially, what you're trying to do is find an article that puts forward the opinion that grades are necessary, that grades are a good measure of student achievement, or a necessary measure of student achievement. So whether you find that online or on SIRS or through the databases, wherever, what you're looking for is an article that believes that grades are good. And that's what you're going to use as the basis for your discussion post. And if you go over to the discussion post itself, to the supplemental source approval post, this is an example in my 101, my other class, my other section. I'm going to have a post like this there for you so you can see the formatting, and I'll also do an example, and you can use that example and the information on my sample post to create your own post once you've found a counterclaim article.